Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Okay, we are in our third segment for this topic, and it's understanding multicultural Malaysia, gender and sexuality. So for this last segment, I'm going to focus on counselling men. Let's look at the statistic. The same statistic as women just now. Yeah, world population is 7.8 billion in 2019. The male population, on the other hand, is actually 3.9 billion. And that means 50.4% of the total world population are male. Yeah? Okay. In Malaysia, it's somewhat, similar to the world population statistic for the male population. In Malaysia, 32.6 million are the whole population in Malaysia, and 51.5% are male, compared to female only 48.5%. Alright. Okay, moving on to histories and diversity. Men are usually considered more powerful, privileged and less vulnerable sex. Okay, and because of all this, powerful, privileged, less vulnerable, means that men does not really use a lot of mental health services lah. They tend to ignore, or they tend not to seek help if they have issues, mental health issues. What are some of the characteristics of men that we know? Okay, the first one emphasizes separation and independence, and also sense of ethics may be based on logical principle of justice. Their way of communication also is different. They want to find solution if they have issues or problem, rather than talk about it or being emotional. Okay, there are also 4 rules of being a man that are more famous in the Western society, or probably also there's some of this perception in our own society. First one, study oak, which is related to invulnerability, sacrifice, stoicism, and showing no weakness. For the men, they can't show weakness. They are strong. They are not vulnerable. Okay. And then the second one, big will, means that men are preoccupied with status, work, and achievement. Men, according to this rule, they must be successful. The third rule, give them hell, which means men have interpersonal domination, they like adventure, they are risk-taking, and also they are more violent, probably in comparison to women, or probably among themselves, they are more violent, I don't know. Okay, so these are the rules. The fourth and the last rule is no sissy stuff. So men have to avoid from appearing feminine. Let's have a look at this video. This is a video on children's perspective of men and stereotypes, gender stereotypes.
Can a drug change how people feel about a guy?
Which man is sexier?
No, man's way more sex appeal.
That's a man wearing the pants, so that shows that men are in charge. Manly means to not cry, not be a sissy. Men work hard and they do all the sports and stuff. Man up means toughen up and unemotional, go through it. I like drawing and I like birds and flowers. It's sort of very stereotypical to assume that only girls can wear pink and play with princess dolls. You should be able to do your own things and do what you want.
Some people don't like what the stereotype is.
My brother, he's the same size in clothes as my mom. Sometimes he wears her shoes or her jacket or something.
My uncle is a chef, and my dad cooks all of our food.
Crafting. I love crafting.
funny sometimes. And I also like to do all those things because that's me. That's who I am. I joined hip hop when it was just one other boy. It was just us and 4 other girls. I play with girl toys and boy toys. I don't really care which one is meant for boys or for girls. I just play with them. They're toys.
If I were to describe the perfect man, the words would be smart, not judging, and kind, and he likes caring for animals.
If you try to go against stereotypes, then you can. But if you go your own way, it feels good because you feel free and you can do what you want to do and you don't have to do what other people say.
Alright, I hope you can find some of the rules just now that I mentioned in the video. Okay, moving on. Some of the counseling issues that men will actually bring to us, yeah, in our counseling session. So the first one, yeah, mental health issues. Yeah? Men are more likely than women to be diagnosed with substance abuse, antisocial personality disorder, yeah, suicide. These are more issues that are they might be diagnosed with, yeah. Okay, the next one, okay, is work, yeah. Tafel, he described work identified men as seem to define himself solely in terms of his work. So men have more, emphasize on work, yeah. So counselor working with such client might inquire about work and emphasize the kind of relatedness to others required by the client's work environment, who the client respect, what he takes pride in, who he feels closest on the job. There might be a something which is helpful, yeah, to be explore in the session to understand the other problems in the client's life. So men usually equates their life with working. Okay, the next one is violence and aggression. Sometimes men they can be coming from the background which relates to domestic violence, aggression. So they might also be exposed to violence and aggression during their younger age. Yeah? So this might influence their way of doing things when they are older. Next, fathering. Fathering means being a parent. For male can be something good, a good experience, but also maybe nerve-wracking, because they are more concentrating on work. So this can also be an issue that they might come to see you as the counselor because they might not be ready and things like that. And then also another issue is reluctance to help seeking. So an issue in counseling could be reluctant for them to seek for help if they have issues. On to the next one. Challenges when we are working with men. They might come to counseling because they are mandated. They could be resistant. It's not voluntary, so they will resist. They might be closed off and skeptical of whether counseling session can actually help them. They want quick answer. They want solution. The way they're thinking is to get answers, not just to talk. And then they might attempt to take charge of the session, and they are more difficult to connect with, especially if the counselor is a woman. And then counseling incompatibilities with men. Counseling is more woman-friendly compared to men. And then the need for help is potentially humiliating for men. Male stigmatization also exists in counseling, and also masculinity is actually the core to a man's identity, so they might be resistant or reluctant to join counseling. So if we were to provide male-friendly counseling, aspects of multicultural counselling principles should be applied lah, when we are trying to have session with them. We need to understand the masculine values and also design treatment intervention to build and maintain rapport with men. And counsellor may or may not target masculinity for treatment focus. Okay, next. What are counsellors' preparation when they are having sessions with men, especially? Awareness of the gender and masculinity. Adjust your expectation, respect masculinity and men's relational style, caring and competent, the personality of the therapist. You must also monitor your bias, stereotyping and use of power, because in counselling, as the counsellor, you are always perceived as a expert, so you have power. And then be aware of intersectionality and also learn about the cultural experience of men. Now let's have a look at why men choose female counsellors. At times men may prefer to have female counsellor. The first one is maybe they are more comfortable, or probably they feel that women are more relationally sensitive. Men also sometimes choose female counsellor because they are urged by their own partner, especially in marriage or family counselling. Also, another reason, it might be recommended by another person. Maybe the female counsellor is much more, expert. Okay, and then previous negative experience with male counsellor can also be another reason why men choose female counsellor. So, if you are a female counsellor and you are working with men client, recognize the impact of men's socialization and differences with one's own gender socialization. You should compare. And then monitor for unresolved issues with men impacting the therapy. You might have, as the counsellor, as the woman counsellor, issues. Be mindful of the relationship dynamic and also monitor your use of power. Recognize the role of shame also, and also provide insight for more female-oriented perspective. Okay, next, male counsellor with men client. Also, you need to be mindful of the male power competitiveness between the client and counsellor. This might be a challenge. Also, be mindful of the masculine fusion, and you might be losing objective perspective. Blind spot is shared assumption, because you are the same gender, so bonding is easier, but the counselling session might not become counselling. Okay, and then maybe counter transference issues. And also, the male counsellor can provide as a positive male role model. Finally, some other tips when working with men. You should aim to enhance your cultural knowledge and self-awareness in relation to men. Recognize actually there's diversity between men. So, men is such a, different men have different unique qualities. And then maintain a male-friendly attitudes. Develop male-friendly rapport building strategies. Invite men to review their coping strategies, including what works well and less well. Work on developing strategies that address goals and deficits, and include more flexible understanding of masculinity and new ways of managing emotions. So both male and female counsellor actually have strengths and vulnerabilities actually when working with men. We have also mentioned it just now. Okay, so that's it for this particular topic. Thank you so much. We are going to continue with sexual orientation. Okay, take care.